I also saw something, because now I guess that since Rick, possibly Rick sees that he thinks that like we do, that the office is, if not encouraging, at least allowing Becky to say these things. Maybe that's why he got a little stirred up. And now he's talking about wanting his belts back. The WWE is holding his legacy hostage. Which belts do they have? Who owns them? What's the lineage here? He tweeted a picture of himself with the domed globe, and then I think himself with one of the WWF belt, rather than the big one that Crockett got made in '86. So I thought Triple H had the domed globe, and I thought that Rick's son-in-law had purchased the big gold and the case that it used to go in, but did they do something on treasures with that belt? Or I'm thinking of the robe.
No, I think that was the robe, or many robes, in fact.
Or mini robes. So,
which have shot down in value.
So apparently he wants Triple H to give him the domed globe back, because that's the last we heard is Triple H has that, right? Didn't he get that to save it from being the subject of a litigation between Kerry Silken and High Spots, and they involved with Rick? So if Triple H bought it so that they would have it in the headquarters, then I believe should he sell it back to Ric Flair? He shouldn't just give it since they bought it. What's going on here?
To be very honest with you, I think Ric Flair is just trying to get attention for his latest subprime project. I think that's what this all is.
Oh, come on now.
And I'm being very serious because it's ridiculous otherwise. It was a belt that was the NWA's. He was the last champion to use that belt. He ended up in possession of that belt. That belt was used as collateral for several things. I'm not someone who will ever defend Kerry Silken. But he ripped off Kerry Silken, and I believe Kerry Silken had a claim on that belt, legitimately. I think he used that belt for collateral in a deal with High Spots, and the same thing happened. And I'm not a High Spots fan. I think they were in the right too, and Rick used that against them. So I'm not sure who owns what. If Paul Levesque, on behalf of WWE, which that's important to clarify, it may be in his office,
right?
But I'm sure the company owns it. If Paul Levesque, on behalf of WWE, settled Ric Flair's debts for the belt, and I don't know that he did or didn't, or just outright purchased it in a way that appeased all the people with claims on it, then it's owned by WWE. Ric Flair doesn't have any right to just say, give it back to me. And the other belt, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about, to be quite honest with you.
But and you know what? Here, though, it's not preposterous that Triple H might own it himself, because he was a big fan of Flair's. He's a big fan of the modern era of territory wrestling, and it's not like he's strapped for cash anytime in the last few years. So he may have just said, hey, I just want it for my office, and bought it himself. We don't know it was WWE money.
That's an interesting question. How do you think Vince McMahon would react if someone like a Triple H was buying things that are major historical items, and it wasn't for the company archive, it wasn't for the warehouse, it was for themselves?
Well, I don't think he's gone off on a spree. I think if obviously Triple H and Vince McMahon knowing each other well on a personal basis, if Triple H says, hey, I got Flair's belt, I'm going to put it up in my office, Vince, hey, good for you, pal, that type of thing. If he was off buying like a truckload of items from various places that, didn't really fit together in what Vince would see as Triple H wanting something personally, then he may be, what's going on here? What are you doing? But that, I don't think so.
Yeah, and like I said, I just think it's an attention-grabbing thing. That's what I think it is. Because it's ridiculous on the face of it.
Can't we all just get along, though? Like it used to be in wrestling when nobody was mad at anybody. Actually, everybody's always been mad at people in wrestling. It's just that nobody knew about it because there wasn't the internet.